Hey, my name is Kat, and I write at a blog called inspiredtoaction.com. And I just wanted to take a minute to share with you my story of motherhood and why I'm really inspired to be as good of a mom as I can be. I never actually knew my mom. She was from the Philippines, and she was a nurse, and she'd come over to the United States and to work at a hospital, and she met my father, and they fell in love, and they got married, and they had my brother, and then a few years later they had me. But when I was 9 months old, she passed away from something called lupus, which I think is something that's much more treatable now than it was back then. But I grew up just feeling like I had this hole in my life, missing this example of what it meant to be a woman, what it meant to be a wife and a mom. And I was constantly looking for role models, constantly looking for people to fill that hole in who I was. And I grew up with a dad and a brother, and so where did I fit in the family? What am I supposed to do with makeup? That's still a question that I ask today, by the way. So if any of you are going to the Relevant conference in a few weeks and want to give me makeup tips, I'm all for it. But so I just grew up feeling like I didn't quite get lots of things. I felt like I was constantly on the outside of this magic bubble called the mother-daughter relationship, and I would see all my friends inside, and of course, to me, they were always just laughing and having this wonderful time with their moms. And it was hard, honestly. It hurt because it wasn't just something that was missing, it was something that I knew could never ever be replaced, and it was something that I knew that I couldn't have. And the thing that I hated the most actually was Mother's Day. I hated going to church and making crafts to give to nobody, or going to school and writing little letters and to go home and put them in the trash. I didn't like it at all. It was kind of a hard day for me as a little girl. And as I grew up, I had wonderful role models come into my life. My grandmother, and when I was a teenager, a stepmom, and wonderful people that really helped me out. But there was just that magical thing that it seemed like to me of the mother-daughter relationship, and really just wishing to know who my mom was and what she was like and what she sounded like, and just all that stuff. And I remember when I grew up, I was 24 years old, and I was at a Sunday school lunch with our church. We lived in Houston at the time. And Jimmy and I had gone out with our Sunday school class, and I remember sitting, and I was talking to somebody at the table, and I'm sure I was paying attention. But out of the corner of my eye, I saw my Sunday school teacher and her little girl sitting there, and they were playing one of those hand clapping games that I was never any good at. And it was like in the movies when someone starts, when things start to go out of focus over here. And so this person started to go out of focus, and it was like she was just saying wah, 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 wah. And I wasn't paying attention because all I could focus on was my Sunday school teacher and her little girl. And just the realization hit me of how big of an impact it had on my life to not know my mom. And at 24 years old, I wanted nothing more than to be that 9-year-old girl and laughing and saying mommy and playing hand clapping games. And it was just a huge realization for me of what an impact a mom has. And it was a hard moment for me, but now at 35, looking back, it's kind of as if I could see God whispering in my ear saying, hey, I have something so special for you. Just wait to see what I have for you. Because the amazing thing is that mother-daughter relationship isn't magical to me anymore. It's real, because my ever faithful and ever watching and all-knowing Redeemer gave me not one but 2 little girls. And we play hand clapping games, and they call me mommy. And I love Mother's Day. It is my favorite day of the year because I used to hate it so much, and now it's so special. It's a holiday that's totally been redeemed for me. And it's amazing to me that every single day I can be to my kids the very thing I always dreamed of. the very thing that I always wanted, I can be to my kids every single day. And so my encouragement to you today is really just that, man, you're not just a mom. You're not just a stay-at-home mom or just a working mom. And you are a mother. And I pray that today that you would walk with all the nobility and honor that that name holds. Pray that you would be encouraged and challenged and envisioned to be the best mom that you can be. Because, you know, the world kind of celebrates celebrities. They praise celebrities and say, you know, these are amazing people and maybe they impact millions of people in our generation. But, you know, I feel like God praises moms who impact millions for generations to come, because the things that we do affects the way that our kids live and their kids will live and their kids will live. And, you know, I'm an example that whether present or absent, whether positive or negative, a mom's impact on her kid's life is undeniable. I never even knew my mom, and she's been instrumental in every bit of who I am today. So be encouraged that as you change diapers today, as you play Legos, as you play dress up and do all these things that seem small and mundane, they have reverberating impact for years and years to come, because your kids see in those small moments big things. They see that you love them. They see that you care. They see that you take the time to be with them. And in case all that feels overwhelming, in case you're like, wow, everything I do affects millions for generations to come, man, that's kind of overwhelming. But then I wanted to share one more encouragement with you. And that's something that my husband said to me, because sometimes I have really bad days. And I had a really bad day a while back. And I remember finally putting the kids to bed and just going to my husband being like, what am I doing? I'm such a terrible mom. They're going to need a massive therapy bill for the day that we had today. You know, I was grumpy, I was frustrated, I was short-tempered, I didn't play with them, I was just miserable. And he was like, you know, sweetheart, it's not about the mom that you were today. It's about the mom that you're fighting to be. And you know, I am fighting to be the best mom that I can be. And maybe today was bad. Maybe today was a mistake. Maybe I made lots of mistakes today. But I can wake up tomorrow, and you know, when my alarm goes off to get me up to spend time with the Lord, man, that's my fight bell. It's on, it's round one, I'm getting out of bed and I'm fighting to be a good mom. So be encouraged that no matter what kind of mom you were today, no matter what kind of mom you were yesterday, that you can fight to be a good mom, and that can start now. And that can start tomorrow morning when you get up and pray for your kids. Because what you're doing is important, what you're doing matters, no matter what anybody else says, no matter how it seems. The things that you're doing have an impact for eternity. And that's a powerful, powerful thing. So thanks for loving your kids. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day.